History is a graveyard of forgotten kingdoms, but some are not merely forgotten, they are erased. One decision. That's all it took. A single choice, made in the hushed quiet of a throne room, that unraveled 1,000 years of history. It wasn't a declaration of war. It wasn't a treaty broken. It was a quiet act of trust. A fatal miscalculation that set in motion a catastrophe from which there would be no recovery. An entire empire, vast and seemingly eternal, was brought to its knees. Not by a foreign army's might, but by a poison that had been growing from within. This king trusted the wrong people. His council was a nest of vipers, cloaked in the silks of loyalty. They spoke of prosperity, of new alliances, of a golden age just within reach. Their words were honeyed, their promises intoxicating. They painted a future so bright it blinded him to the shadows gathering at his feet. And he ignored every warning. The signs were there, etched in the fabric of his kingdom for anyone willing to see. Omens appeared in the sky, comets like bleeding wounds, eclipses that swallowed the sun. Priests and seers, their faces pale with terror, brought him prophecies of fire and ruin, of a crown that would turn to ash. They spoke of a betrayal that would come not from a foreign shore, but from the very heart of his court. He dismissed them as the ramblings of fearful old men. His advisors assured him these were merely superstitions, relics of a less enlightened time. They urged him to look forward, not to the heavens, but even the king, in his gilded isolation, must have felt it. A creeping doubt. A cold draft in the warm halls of the palace. A flicker of uncertainty in the eyes of his most trusted general. A tremor in the foundations of his own certainty. He saw the whispers in the corridors, the guards who wouldn't meet his gaze. He felt the city's mood shift, a quiet tension replacing the usual hum of life. Yet, he chose to believe the comforting lies over the terrifying truth. He clung to the illusion of control, even as it slipped through his fingers like sand. It was his final, fatal error. Then came the night of ruin. There was no declaration, no siege horn. The gates were not battered down. They were opened from within. The betrayal was absolute. In a single night, his city was invaded, burned, and erased. The first screams were mistaken for late-night revelry. But soon, the smell of smoke choked the air, thick and acrid. Flames, hungry and wild, leaped from rooftop to rooftop, painting the sky in horrifying shades of orange and red. The city's grand architecture, the product of centuries of artistry, became fuel for the inferno. Chaos erupted in the labyrinthine streets. The invaders were merciless, a tide of shadows sweeping through the avenues and alleys. Their purpose, not conquest, but annihilation. The city's defenders, caught by surprise, were cut down before they could even form ranks. It was a slaughter. By morning, a horrifying silence had fallen, broken only by the crackle of dying embers and the whisper of the wind through skeletal ruins. Thousands were dead. The vibrant pulse of a great metropolis had been extinguished. The dawn revealed a scene of utter desolation. What was once a city of light was now a necropolis of ash and sorrow. Smoke hung heavy in the air, a gray shroud over the dead. The grand plazas, once filled with merchants and children, were now empty, littered with the debris of a shattered civilization. The silence was the most terrifying part. No birds sang, no market bells rang. There was only the profound, deafening absence of life. The survivors, few and scattered, moved like ghosts through the wreckage of their world, their faces masks of shock and grief. The empire had not just been defeated, its heart had been ripped out. But the destruction of the city was not the end. The true erasure was yet to come. The victors, guided by the treacherous advisors, began a systematic campaign to wipe the king from history itself. His name was removed from records. Scribes were put to the sword or forced to rewrite the annals, replacing his reign with a void, a blank space in the timeline. Every monument bearing his likeness was defaced. Every statue toppled and ground to dust. His decrees were burned, his laws rescinded, his face chiseled away from public friezes. They sought to create a world in which he had never been born. It was a second death, more profound than the first. To kill a man is one thing, to kill his memory, to salt the earth of his legacy, is to condemn him to utter oblivion. They wanted to ensure that no one would ever rally to his name again, and they almost succeeded. His legacy was lost. Over the centuries, the truth of his reign dissolved into myth and rumor. Some whispered he was a demon king who brought the ruin upon himself. Others claimed he was a fiction, a cautionary tale invented by later rulers. The empire he once commanded became a footnote, its borders blurred on ancient maps, its achievements credited to others. And today, most people don't even know he existed. His story survives only in whispers, in fragmented texts hidden away in the world's most secret archives. A line in a forgotten poem, a partial inscription on a looted artifact, a sigil on a broken seal. These are the breadcrumbs of a ghost, the faint echoes of a king who was systematically deleted from the pages of time. The truth lies buried under layers of propaganda and the simple, crushing weight of forgotten centuries. But nothing is ever truly gone. Deep within a forgotten vault, behind a door sealed for generations, a clue remains. A single, defiant symbol glows with a faint, ethereal light. The king's own sigil, a mark the erasers missed. For centuries, this door has remained shut, its secrets guarded by time and dust. But now, something has stirred. The ancient lock groans. The stone shifts, a deep rumble echoing through the silent halls. A crack of darkness appears, a sliver of the unknown. The air grows cold, thick with the scent of old parchment and something more, the scent of a story that refuses to die. The door, sealed to hide a terrible truth, is beginning to open. What lies beyond it? What truths were so dangerous they had to be buried under a mountain of stone and silence? The story of the king who ended everything is not over. The final chapter was not burned. It was locked away, and the key is turning.